Right, one more game of the 2015-2016 Premier League to go, and everything is no longer in our own hands. We need Swansea to beat Manchester City. We have to beat Bournemouth. So, in theory, Champions League possibility is very much still possible. However, losing to West Ham really ballsed it up for us. It's very unlikely, I would say, at this stage that we will be in fourth place by the end of Sunday evening.
I'm just trying to force a smile, mate.
Good night. You look constipated.
Yeah, it's not happening, is it?
Just like you strain it. It's weird.
I can't believe we lost 3-2, 2-1 up to those attacking our bus lunatics when we could have got City with Pep Guardiola in the Europa League. How can you not motivate a team to absolutely smash the granny out of another team when that's on the cards? Still furious.
I mean, I think that's how a lot of people feel. So we will look ahead to Bournemouth now, starting with the obvious question. Louis van Gaal, fourth place. That is what ended the career of David Moyes as Manchester United manager. When we lost to Everton, it was no longer mathematically possible to come fourth, so he was instantly sacked. Should Louis van Gaal receive the same treatment? Do we suspect that that is contractually agreed somewhere? Adam?
Wouldn't surprise me if the club were waiting for Champions League football to be mathematically impossible before doing so, like they did with David Moyes. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking, why are you just randomly saying the word David, and then I realised his surname. But yeah, so what was the question again? Sorry.
Well, do you expect Manchester United to act accordingly if we don't qualify for the Champions League? Obviously, the FA Cup final is still to come, so there is another game after Bournemouth. Do you think he should be manager? That basically, we're speculating on Louis van Gaal and Champions League places.
Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night on the road back from Upton Park.
That's fine.
And that absolute calamity show that was on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think United will probably wait till it's mathematically impossible, which is obviously only going to be on the final day of the season, to make a decision. And I wouldn't have been surprised if he scraped top four and it saved his job. Whether that's right or wrong, I think it's wrong. Regardless of whether we finished fourth or fifth, I don't think, if we won our last three games of the season, we get top four in the FA Cup. I don't think our season should be based on 3 games, if you get what I'm saying. But now, after that game has happened, it's kind of epitomised our whole season. When we need to go for something, we don't go for it. Did you really think any of the players wanted to really win that game? I didn't get that impression.
Oh, not in the first half.
I didn't get the impression that the players, like Liverpool. Okay, look, this is my examples. Yeah, Liverpool in the Europa League when it was 1-1 in the second half, we needed to score 3 goals. Didn't go for it. West Ham yesterday. Sorry, West Ham at home 0-0. PSV at home 0-0.
Wolfsburg, another
Norwich at home didn't go for it.
West Ham at home.
Yeah, I said that one. There's been loads of games at home where we haven't gone for it. We just haven't looked like we wanted to score. And so as soon as we concede that first goal, we've scored 46 goals in the league this season. 46 goals in the league this season. Over 37 games, that's average 1.05 goals a game. That means if we concede, we're fucked.
Literally. He's literally right, though, isn't he? And I think we've only done that, scored less than 50 goals in a season. I think we've only done it 4 times since the war, I think I saw this morning. So it's absolutely
What war? There's wars going on every day, guys.
The war, mate. The war. The Great War.
That's the First World War.
Great War, I wouldn't call it great.
The one we won. What were we talking about? Louis van Gaal. Yeah, he's gone. I thought he was gone no matter what, to be honest. And I don't think even our last day miracle would save him. I mean, even if we can make up for all the goals that we've not scored this season, if City draw and we win about 20-0, and that'll get us through to the Champions League. But obviously, none of this is going to happen. We're out the top 4 now. We're not in the Champions League next year. It's an absolutely disastrous season. And what we've had to sit through as well the whole year has been absolutely crap. Leaving the Champions League so early was an absolute disgrace. The football that we have to sit through, the money that's been spent, it seems like we've not really got anywhere now, and we're at this point at the end of the season. We've not really got anywhere. The FA Cup, you can say that. Yeah, I'll praise him for getting to where he is in the FA Cup because even though if he is playing lesser teams, it takes a lot to get there. But we have been playing lesser teams the whole tournament. Genuinely, West Ham was the only tough game for me, in my opinion, and we still needed a replay to beat them. So we were lucky to get to where we were in the FA Cup. We didn't play any of the big boys.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that for a second, how easy our FA Cup run should have been. So for a second, you're like, oh, we're in the final. But, yeah, it should have been... We should have sorted out a new manager ages ago, I think.
It should have been after the Norwich game. After the Norwich game, not the one recently, the one before that. That was when we should have sorted it out, and that's when we could have saved our season. But doing it any later than that, it's not going to change anything. It's not giving a new manager enough time. So we've got obviously Van Gaal there till summer, definitely gone. And then let's just hope next season it's a lot bloody better. But I said this on Facebook last night as well, that I think it's going to take us more than a year. I said it on a fan cam with Adam and a few people were commenting disagreeing with me, which I understand actually, when I said that next season we have to lower our expectations a little bit. And it's horrible saying that. It's absolutely horrible saying it as a Man United fan. But this is going to take more than one summer to sort out. And we're back to where we started at the end of Moyes, where we're thinking, right, let's just get top 4 next year. That's the priority. And I hate being like Arsenal. It's horrible.
See, that's the thing, yeah. I disagree completely with that. I don't believe there's a huge job that needs to be done here. I genuinely don't. I
don't know, mate. I don't know.
Look at our team. When you look at our team, we should have... Look where we've lost points this season. Sorry, I know you need to come to Dave's, Sam, but look where we've lost points this season. At home against Norwich, at home against Southampton, away against West Brom. Any decent manager with this team should have had us performing better than we are.
That's the biggest thing, though. Some of these players just don't deserve to wear the shirt. Been absolute disgraces in the last few weeks, the last few months. Some of them just show no fight, no passion. It seems like they want Louis van Gaal to get sacked, but ultimately they've still got to play football this season. Players like Ander Herrera, last few weeks, he's been atrocious, absolutely atrocious. And it's that thing of this team should be performing a lot better than it is with the players we have. But the issue is some of the players, quite frankly, aren't good enough to wear the Man United shirt. If we go back and we compare this side to the 2008 side, how many of the players now would get in that side? Probably Martial and David De Gea. That's probably it. And that's what we've got to look at. That's the standard, the level that we're used to, but we're nowhere near that. And it's going to take time to build up, like Gaz is saying. But quite frankly, at the moment, there's just big changes need to be made. No, missing out on Renato Sanchez is a big one for me. What were United playing at? 27 million quid for one of the most talented central midfielders in world football at 18 years old. He's already played in Champions League quarterfinals. The lad's got the pace. He's a box-to-box player that we've been crying out for years, and we don't even bother going in for him or whatever happens. We're not even interested with him. Who's scouting for Manchester United? Like Bayern Munich are showing, sign Hummels, shouting Renato Sanchez before the summer, so they can be integrated into the squad. It's just, again, we're throwing mud at walls.
Throwing mud at walls, that's a great expression. All right, so I guess, unfortunately, we have to move on now because we're looking to head to the game against Bournemouth. That's what we're here to do. So let's talk about set pieces. According to Louis van Gaal, we just need a few more centimetres in the box.
Well, I need a few centimetres in my pants, but we can't all have it.
You can't complain about the height of your team as if it's something that halfway through the season you're like, oh, this is a problem. You buy players. It's so stupid to go, oh, we just need our players to be taller. And it's like, yeah, you do realise that that's not going to happen to these people. They're adults. They stop growing at a certain age. You need to buy taller players. If that's a weakness, it's just stupid, isn't it? Even if you're not tall, you should be beating Bournemouth.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah. Sure.
That's what we're told. That's what the show's about, mate.
Yeah, I understand.
You have 11 world-class dwarves. You should beat Bournemouth.
Yeah. Okay. Adam, what do you think the issue is? Actually, Dave, let's start with you. What do you think the issue is with set pieces? Why are we defensively weak there? Is that something that's been true all season?
I think if you look at the stats, it's a bit of an issue. A third of United's goals that they conceded this year. Obviously, United haven't conceded that many goals, but a third have come from set pieces. Looking at the game against West Ham, their strengths. They're playing with a target man. That they're going to try and nick free kicks, sort of outside the area. They're going to go down very easily. Only Tottenham have scored more goals from set pieces than this season. But quite frankly, Louis van Gaal came out again after the match and said, we shouldn't have committed fouls, 60 metres from our goal. And we did that in abundance. We committed 8 fouls in that zone in the final third. 3 coming from Ander Herrera. Again, openly criticising him for his performance because he was giving fouls away in stupid areas, resulting in goals. And ultimately, if you go to West Ham and you're playing a team that's got a lot of big players, a lot of powerful players in the air, why are you not simply doing the totally pure? So what Fergie used to do and play 4 centre-backs at the back? Fusu Mensah was available, Jones was available, yet we're playing Valencia, we're playing Blind, we're playing small players that we know there's a weakness there. Poor old Daley Blind, who's been fantastic at centre-back and was fantastic in the game, apart from those 2 incidences, one of the goals and obviously that where he played Andy Carroll onside. I just feel so sorry for him. He isn't a centre-back that should be battling, and now going back to one game to do at the end of the season, a problem that was highlighted by pretty much everyone that we needed to sign a centre-back in the summer didn't happen. Now sitting back and 70 how many games in? I've forgotten how many games in, and then going, we need some more height at the back.
37 games in.
Can I ask a quick question, please?
It's not really how this works, but
do you think with us, like, we needed a centre back, and it's pretty unforgivable that we didn't get one? Do you think what happened there was that United thought they were getting Ramos, and instead of doing what I feel like I or anyone sensible would do, we'd be like, okay, we think we've got a chance of Ramos here, but let's put the feelers out on 2 of our centre backs, It felt to me like they were like, we're getting Ramos, and then when we didn't, we're like, right, we've got no other options now. Do you think? Look, if you don't like the question, mate, I can see from your face.
Ian, don't speak common sense. Just don't do it.
Imagine a bum with boobs
you'll give
on
Ed Woodward a heart attack.
I think, obviously, I think that's probably what happened. They missed the truth, didn't they?
Yeah. What an interesting debate.
37 games ago now. There's not a lot we can do about it, is there?
No, there isn't, mate. What question were you going to ask, Sam?
I was going to ask Gaz how he felt about defensive errors and set pieces.
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
Well, Sam, the defensive errors on set pieces, I think a lot of it is just down to a lack of concentration is what it looks like. And it looks like that with a lot of goals that we can see this year, especially when we actually sort of go for it a little bit. I know that the stats in terms of shots don't really say that we were attacking against West Ham, but I think there was small.
Created 3 chances, Gaz, in 90
I know,
minutes.
that's what I mean. I know. That's what I'm going on to say. But I felt like we were actually we had little periods where we were flying into tackles a little bit more than we were in the first half, and I'm not sure whether it's just on contrast looks a little bit better. But it seems like whenever we need to win a game, we're in a position where we need to win, the draw isn't good enough. So the Wolfsburg game, for example, our defence is just torn open completely and they just have no concentration about them. And it's sort of like I'm getting to the point where these defenders that I've been praising all year, really, Smalling, Blind, Antonio Valencia in recent weeks, they might not all be as good as I actually thought they were. And the stats of sort of the amount of clean sheets we've got, that stats is a lie. And it's purely because of the absolutely crap negative football we play, which is why we've conceded so few goals. And it seems to be that next season, if we go in with the same defence and we actually play better football and actually want to score goals and win games, then we'll get found out a little bit more. But to be honest, I'd rather be winning every game 5-4 than losing every game 1-0, winning every game 1-0. So I'd take that.
Okay, thanks so much. Adam, Bournemouth, what's your team?
Guys, did you say you'd rather lose every game?
No. I'd rather win every game 5-4 than win every game 1-0.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think
those were the days, Apart from David De Gea, obviously.
He'll be off, won't he? We'll have Romero in goal. That's why we'll concede 4 every game.
The return of Valdez. Adam, what's your team to play Bournemouth?
Genuinely don't give a shit, to be honest. You know what, yeah?
Thank you for tuning in to Full-Time Devils for the last game of the season. As you can tell, we've kept the faith.
You know what, yesterday, yeah, I went into that game expecting a draw. And
you were nearly right.
It didn't surprise me that and I thought, I'd be surprised if we win today, but it'd be a nice surprise, you know what I mean? And then we go 2-1 up and we crumble like a digestive. It just pissed me off. Just why, man?
Right, seriously, this is the Bournemouth preview, not the West Ham review. Okay. I am sick of all of you focusing on one game that happened. Yes, it was disappointing.
Matt Rich is dangerous, isn't he?
No. I know. Look at this guy. We're not on that bit yet, though, Ian. We're doing the United team first. That's the next bit. Okay. All right? That's the next bit. You do your team then while we're waiting for Adam.
Okay, my team is in goal for his final appearance in a Man United shirt.
What about the FA Cup final?
Okay, so his final appearance at Old Trafford before he goes to a club that can give him Champions League football and some half-decent defenders is David De Gea.
Hey!
In defence, there'll be Blind and Smalling at centre-back,
Hey!
Valencia at right-back,
Hey!
Rojo at left-back, even though he's awful at left-back. He's awful!
So why are you playing him there?
Because he's awful and he always plays. I would choose Borthwick Jackson.
We're asking you for your team.
Okay then, mate, listen up!
What do you
Borthwick
think was
Jackson,
happening?
the chill-out
Jackson
kid.
should be our captain after what he did on that bus.
Borthwick Jackson.
The only one with some big balls.
Everyone throwing bottles at him and him just chilling out on the left wing. I was Smalling and... You know what? Smalling and either Fosu Mensah or Jones. Someone else at centre-back. Okay. Fosu Mensah at centre-back. Valencia at right-back. And then I would have Blind playing as a defensive midfielder because I don't think he's a centre-back. And sometimes he actually does forward passes. And then I'd probably have Schneidlin because you think, well, we bought him. So why don't we use him? Oh, I just don't care anymore, mate. And then Lingard, Martial, Mata, and Rashford. Oh no, probably put Rooney instead of Blind. Actually, put Blind back at centre back. I don't know, mate. That's my team.
You didn't even have a team in the end.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Blind, Borthwick Jackson, Rooney, Schneidlin, Lingard, Martial, Mata, Rashford. There you go,
Did it
mate.
in the end.
I want to
Good.
go home.
God. Squawker Dave.
Right, let's flip this over. Let's turn a new leaf over. Let's be positive about this game.
That's my man.
Back going to go with
Shut up,
David De
Dave.
Gea in goal. The best keeper in the Premier League. 15 clean sheets. No other keeper has more than that. Antonio Valencia at right back. Smalling, Fosu Mensah at centre back. Daley Blind at left back. Michael Carrick holding in midfield. Then I'm going to go with Schneidlin next to Wayne Rooney. I think Schneidlin could do a great job for Anthony Martial defending, going out to that left-hand side. If Martial wants to stay counter-attacking, let him do that because we saw how dangerous he was on the break against West Ham. And then up my front three, I'm going to go for Lingard for a functional role on the right-hand side, Rashford through the middle, and then Anthony Martial, the golden boy of Manchester United, the only player that's worth the shirt this season, scored 20,000 goals plus, and it's just, he's the only player that actually fancies it this season. So he's the main man for me, and hopefully you can get him 1v1 up against either the right centre-back or the right back, and he'll tear him a new one.
I don't remember him scoring 20,000 goals, but you are the stats man, so...
He must have done, mate.
Gaz, your team.
Yeah, to be fair, we were laughing at Ian there, but he's given me a great idea for my team. So I was going to go
Is it
for
to
Blint.
make it a complete shambles and name about 15 players?
I was going to go with Blint at centre half, but I'm actually going to put Fosu Mensah there, like Ian originally said. So I'm going to go De Gea in goal. Last Premier League appearance for him, I think, unless Swansea beat City. But then again, we'll probably draw. So De Gea in goal, Valencia at right back. Fosu Mensah and Smalling as the two centre-halves with Borthwick Jackson at left-back, like Adam mentioned, purely because of his antics on the bus, the only one who didn't really freak out like a little girl. Then I've gone for Fosu Mensah as the holding midfielder, Wayne Rooney and Mata as the two in front of him, Lingard on the right, Martial on the left, and Rashford up top. Sorry, did I say Fosu Mensah as the holding midfielder? I meant Blint as the holding midfielder. I've swapped them two round, you see.
Good doing, Ian. You messed it up.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you think of all of that?
Want to see Blint.
I'd like to see Borthwick Jackson start, and all jokes aside, not just because of what he did on the bus, but because I think he's a better left back than Marcus Rojo.
So's my nan.
And also, she's very good at football though, guys.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Yeah, she's quality, she is. She wears them Ronaldo boots as well, don't she? Mercurials.
What is happening?
Mate, no one cares about United no more. They just break our heart every week. Every week.
I'm getting a season ticket for the croquet next year if anyone wants to join me.
Timmy Fosu Mensah needs to start. Put him in defence. Where he belongs. He's the rock. Put him in there. Cameron Beckham Jackson, put him in there. He's the only one that can whip a ball in this team. And he can defend better than Marcus Rojo. Also, I've been screaming and shouting about Schneidlin, Herrera, Rooney in midfield. And you know what? They were crap against West Ham. Made me look absolutely stupid. So I'm not suggesting nothing else.
All right then. Ian, you were keen to do this earlier. Let's talk about Bournemouth.
Oh, well, I've already said it. Matt Ritchie is a bit dangerous. I don't know. They've done all right. People would probably expect them to go down. They've been all right. They've played decent football, but they shouldn't be difficult to beat. and we should be beating them. They're not that dangerous. They're not getting relegated, but not getting mid-table team. They're like 17th to 15th kind of team, and I don't know. What can you say about Bournemouth, mate?
Well, I would suggest perhaps, and I don't know if Gaz would agree with me, but at the very least he might join a debate with me. Do you think if Leicester City hadn't gone on and won the Premier League in the way they did, that Bournemouth might have been the success story of this season? Because everybody expected them to go down. They spent some money, and most of the players they bought got injured.
Where are Watford as well? They're another one who have done all right, haven't they?
And they had a semi-final. Why is Quique Sanchez-Flores getting sacked?
That's Watford's way, isn't it?
Manager,
that's their
chairman
way.
or whatever.
That's how they roll.
Elton John's gone mad.
Anyway, this isn't the Watford preview. Bournemouth.
I don't know anything about any Bournemouth players, mate, to be honest. So.
Bournemouth.
Right, we've got to deal with a few players here. Firstly, Andrew Sermon in central midfield. He dictates the play there. That's why I've gone with Schneiderlin as my left central midfielder. I think Sermon sort of plays as a right central midfielder usually, so get tight to him. You're going to kill a lot of Bournemouth's play through the middle. Up front, they've got a lot of pace, and I think that's where Fusu-Mensah and Smalling will be the ideal combination there, because they're both quite quick. You know, whether it is Joshua King, Benica Phobe, Callum Wilson or Lewis Grabban, you've got to be aware that they're going to be running in behind. They're going to be stretching the play to open up the space for Sermon. So if you deal with that, you know, you can sit deep at certain times, but when you're trying to press and harry Sermon, just be aware that those balls can go in behind. And then, you know, Bournemouth have been on holiday since about the 9th of April, because that's when they hit the 41 point mark, obviously staying up in the Premier League. Since then they've lost 3 Premier League games and drawn 1. So again, it's very similar to Norwich. This has to be a win.
Okay. Does everyone else feel a bit redundant when Dave speaks?
Oh yeah, he nailed that, mate. All I said was Matt Rich is all right. That's
I
all
said
I've
I've never
got.
heard of any
All
of
right,
that.
Adam, anything you want to add about Bournemouth?
Remember Benica Phobe tore us apart when he played for MK Dons?
We're going to make them look like Brazil, mate.
Okay.
We're literally going to.
Right, predictions time. Adam, what do you think the score will be?
My prediction is I'll be bored shitless and United will win 1-0.
Okay, Dave.
Going to go 5-0 United.
Way!
Memphis with my hat-trick. Martial.
Yes, Memphis, lad!
Gaz.
I reckon City will get beat by Swansea. It'll be 2-0 in that game. We'll all be there looking at our phones like, no way. And we'll draw 0-0.
I
so
think
horrible.
United will win 2-1, but I think City will either win or draw, because they always, City have started doing what I guess United would do when, you know, they'll grind out 1-0 if they have to, or they will be 2-0 down and win 3-2. They're just so frustrating at the minute.
We do that.
Okay, so we're going to end it right there.
Fucking day.
I am going to copy Squawker Dave. I think it'll be 6-0. So get your comments in below. Let us know what you think. Sorry for all the swearing. These lot have lost the plot, it seems. See you next time.
I'm tired. Sorry, guys.
Nightmare.
Hello and welcome to another momentous Points of You. Like, points of view, but I'll stop explaining it now. Housenler instead of Ian, if you hadn't noticed.